The economy is not a car, and interest rates are not the gas pedal.
In our recent interview on Donald Trump's trade policy, it got a lot of attention, and you also wrote an article with that. Now, you're also publishing another article called Our Keynesian Nightmare. In this article, you say it's not an understatement to say that the economic policy of the United States since 2008 has been purely Keynesian. Interest rates are near zero, and the national debt is near $20 trillion. What else do you have to say on this topic?
Well, I think Keynes' general theory will probably sit next to Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto as books that developed dangerous, false notions of reality with disastrous consequences. Okay? And you have to wonder why a book that was so poorly written with innumerable logical errors and ever-shifting definitions such as for savings, the marginal efficiency of capital, and interest rates, how that book could have been so popular. And the reason is simple. The book basically gave politicians the theoretical foundation to implement policies that had been previously criticized by the classical economists. And let's just talk about the multiplier, or the concept of the multiplier. It doesn't exist. It only exists in the illogical minds of Keynesian economists or writers of economic textbooks. Let me explain it quickly, since most of your viewers are already familiar with it. Suppose that the government spends $1. Okay, this will be received by somebody as income, and he will spend a certain percentage, let's say 80 cents, okay? And that will be received by somebody as income, and so on and so on. So $1 of government spending has created $5 national income, or GDP. The astute student will say, well, oh, wait a second, how did you finance that government expenditure? How did you finance that $1? And this is where the Keynesians have a nice little trick called the balanced budget multiplier. So they say that if you spend $1 and tax $1, okay, the government will spend $1, and because they taxed $1, you would have only spent 80 cents. So we get a 20-cent increase in demand, which with the multiplier will lead to $1 of additional national income, or GDP. And at this point, most professors go on to another topic. What's missing, though, is that there's an insidious assumption underlying this multiplier concept. And that insidious assumption is that the 20 cents, the entire 20 cents when it was taxed, was hoarded. And hoarding is basically stuffing money in your mattress. It's basically claims that are not used to purchase current goods and services. If instead of hoarding that 20 cents had been saved, which is a transfer of claims to another person who will use that 20 cents to purchase plant and equipment, then the multiplier of 5 that I described is in reality infinity, or just representing the circular flow of an economy, and the balanced budget multiplier is 0, in the sense that fiscal policy, which is government spending or taxation, has no aggregate demand effects on the economy. Now, if we look at the supply side, here we're talking about $1 of spending on government consumption, and what has been crowded out is consumption and investment spending that would have gone to purchasing plant and equipment, which is a real source of growth in a capitalist economy.
So Keynes was an advocate of euthanasia of the renter. He did this by pushing interest rates to zero. Now, do you agree with this Keynesian interest rate view?
Well, Keynesians and monitors have a view that short-term interest rates are determined by the demand and supply for liquidity. Misers call this of unsurpassable naivete. Okay, we have that an economic professor will go and teach a microeconomic class and explain how price controls, ultimately lead to wine lakes, butter mountains, and unemployment. Okay, and then they'll cross the hall and teach a macroeconomic class and explain to students how interfering with interest rates somehow will benefit society. Okay, I only have one word for these type of economists. They're schizophrenic. Okay, the reality is that The economy is not a car, and interest rates are not the gas pedal. Okay. In reality, interest rates are a price that help align demand with output across time. Okay. And the more you interfere with interest rates, the more you will create a divergence between what society wants and what it's producing. Okay. And the longer you interfere with interest rates, the longer will be the adjustment to realign demand with output. Okay, that's why I think that we're going to have a significant adjustment in the near future. I would say as bad as in 1929 or in 2008.
So, Dr. Frank, how can we get ourselves out of this mess?
Well, my fear is that we're going to try to implement the same policies that got us into this mess in the first place, which is more printing and government spending. What I suggest is a plan that was developed by the leading economists in the 1930s, and that's a Chicago plan. I would, though, structure it in such a way that the Chicago plan would be implemented by ending fractional reserve banking, and this would imply ending central banking.
Well, thank you, Dr. Frank, for joining us in our studios again.
Welcome to be here.
And thank you at home for watching. We want to know your views on this topic, so give us a comment in the box below. Goodbye for now.